Hi, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to share with you what normal eating looks like versus what disordered eating looks like. So disordered eating and an eating disorder are two different things. An eating disorder often has a deeper cause that is related to mental health. So things like body dysmorphia or reality distortion, those things can be the root cause of an eating disorder, whereas disordered eating oftentimes is caused by bad habits that we repeat over and over again. If you have an eating disorder, I strongly recommend that you go and get professional help. Whereas if you have disordered eating or patterns of eating that you think might be a little bit abnormal, oftentimes we can fix those on our own. So all of the disordered eating habits that I will be talking about in this video come from my own experience, and they're things that I have had to eliminate from my life to retrain myself to eat like a normal person. So another disclaimer is that this video is not targeted toward athletes or bodybuilders. If you compete in any kind of a physique-oriented sport, this is not the video for you. For this video, we're going to focus on long-term lifestyle changes. Disordered eating habit number 1, skipping meals throughout the day or ignoring or delaying your hunger for as long as possible before eating. So that is not normal. A normal eating pattern looks like eating regularly throughout the day and noticing and honoring your hunger cues. So have your constant snacker, and this is the person that will oftentimes eat constantly throughout the day. They will graze more or less. Its food seems to be a constant companion. It's always there. They're never really just eating. They're always eating and doing something else, but they're eating consistently throughout their day. And then you have your person that forgets to eat. They're constantly skipping meals, or they're too busy to eat, or they are never finishing their meals because they get distracted and end up doing something else, or they're always running out of time and end up not eating. Either way, these are two poor eating patterns that are not normal. A normal eating pattern looks like 3 meals a day, maybe some snacks if you're hungry. And to get to that place, if you're a constant snacker, start with making small changes, grouping your eating around the 3 meal times, eating enough that you don't feel the need to snack throughout your day, and eliminating distractions when you're eating. So don't eat while you're doing other things. You don't know if you're eating because you're hungry or because you're anxious or just as a way of keeping yourself awake, whatever it may be. Eliminate those distractions. Don't eat while you're doing other things, and you'll be able to better notice when you're not hungry and eating, and to better pay attention to how much you are eating so you don't end up overeating inadvertently. And if you are one of those people that forgets to eat, make food a priority. You've got 10 minutes every single meal. You can take 10 minutes out of your day to eat something. For you, it's okay to eat while you're doing other things because it's more important to eat something than it is to make sure you have time to sit down and eat a full meal. Eat something, and eat something around the meal times, around when you're hungry regularly. But on the days where you really are busy and you don't have time to eat, grab very high calorie foods, and those are going to give you the nutrients that you need to make sure that you're not burning up your own muscle. Disordered eating pattern number 2, you count calories to tell you how much you eat. Now, in normal eating, you rely on your body's own hunger cues and fullness cues to tell you when to start and stop eating. And you stop eating when you're comfortably full, not when the calories tell you that you've had enough. So calorie counting is a tool. It's a tool that can be used to help you meet a goal by a certain time. You're not meant to count calories for the rest of your life. Your body, it has an internal counter. It knows how much you need. When you stop relying on those internal cues and start relying on external cues to tell you when to start and stop eating, you are destroying that trust that you have with your body. Especially when your body is hungry and you don't respond, because your calories tell you that you've hit your maximum, you can't have any more, and so you don't give yourself any more, and your body's going to make you pay for that later on. Because when you put yourself in a state of deprivation, there is a binge around the corner every single time. My recommendation to you is to stop counting calories. Focus on tracking your fullness levels before and after your meals. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being absolutely starving, and then 10 being so full that it feels like there's a bowling ball in your stomach, what hunger level, what fullness level are you at? Notice what it feels like to be hungry. Notice what it feels like to be full, and eventually you'll relearn to connect with those cues, to respond with those cues, and to start eating more like a normal person, where you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. You end up reestablishing that trust with your body. Disordered eating pattern number 3, eliminating entire foods or entire food groups out of your diet, labeling them as off limit when there's no medical indication to do so. A normal eating pattern is eating any food that you want to eat without labeling certain foods as good and certain foods as bad. What happens when you tell yourself you can't have certain foods, you're putting those foods on a pedestal. You're making those foods more desirable for you. And then when you have a cheat day or a cheat meal, what is it that you're going to go to? It's that food that you've been restricting, that food that you haven't been giving yourself. So, for example, when I was on my healthy eating meal plan, I wouldn't let myself eat any cake. I don't even like cake normally. I'm not a fan, but because I didn't let myself have it, when I did finally let myself have cake, I didn't just have a piece. I ate half of the cake in one sitting. And I didn't particularly enjoy the taste of it. It wasn't a particularly good cake. It was just cake. I can finally have cake. So what you find is that when you allow yourself to have any food that you want in moderation, you don't feel the need to indulge excessively in those foods. You don't feel the need to eat half a cake or the entire cake. When you do finally allow yourself to have some cake, you will be perfectly satisfied having one piece, and you know that you can have more cake anytime you want, if you want it. And you'll find that your body will level out. You won't crave those foods anymore because there's no reason to crave them if you can have them anytime you want. When you have a cheat day, you won't eat 4,000 calories worth of candy because you can have candy anytime you want. There's no reason to. There's no famine. There's no shortage. So when you're training your body to have any food that it wants in moderation, you trust your body to tell you what kind of foods that it wants. You'll end up preventing those binges, those inevitable binges that come with the restrictions you place on your eating later on. So before every meal, ask yourself what it is that you really want. Do you want carbs? Do you want fats? Do you want protein? Do you want chicken? Do you want bread? What is it that you want? When you force yourself to eat healthy foods that you should be eating, you'll find that oftentimes your body is not satisfied because you're not giving it what it really wants. And you'll end up going back after that meal and eating some more, where you wouldn't have done that had you given your body what it wanted in the first place. So say, for example, I'm having oatmeal, and all I want is to put some peanut butter and some chocolate chips in my oatmeal, which for anybody that knows me, that's one of my favorite combinations, and I love putting that into my morning oats. But say I am dieting and I'm not letting myself have that peanut butter and chocolate in my oatmeal, and so I eat and I finish the entire bowl, and I'm still kind of not satisfied, and I can't really tell if it's hunger or if or if I'm just not satisfied. So I end up sitting down to do work and just being constantly distracted by this need to go back to the kitchen and to eat. And so I go back to the kitchen and I'll just keep nibbling, never quite being satisfied. Whereas if I had just taken that spoonful of peanut butter, put it into my oatmeal to begin with, listened to my body telling me that, hey, I want some fats, I want something creamy and smooth, and had that, I would have been satisfied, I would have been happy with my meal, and I would have been perfectly fine, not thinking about food, not concerning myself about what I'm gonna eat until I got hungry again. At every meal, ask yourself what it is that you really want, and your body is gonna thank you by not giving you that restless feeling of not being quite satisfied. Disordered eating habit number 4. Using exercise as a tool for burning off calories. So when you eat more than you think you should have, you'll exercise for longer. That is not normal. Normal eating is not associated with exercise in that way. Normal eating can be related to your exercise in the way that you make sure to eat so that you have energy for a workout. But when it comes down to using exercise as a tool to compensate for overeating, that's entering into dangerous territory. That's a binge purge behavior. You're associating exercise with guilt. And exercise is not meant to be an activity that you do out of guilt. Exercise is meant to be something you enjoy. It's not necessarily going to be going to the gym for everybody or doing cardio. Exercise should be moving your body in a way that makes you happy. So whether it's dancing or ice skating or rollerblading or whatever it is for you, it should be an activity that enables you to have the freedom of moving your body and enjoying that, and not because you ate. So disordered eating pattern number 5 is using food to try and achieve an unattainable, thin, ideal body type. Whereas with normal eating, you use food as a way to nourish your body and to help your body function and feel its best. You are genetically predisposed to look a certain way to a certain degree. So your healthiest self might be curvier or thinner or more muscular than somebody else. When your goal changes from looking your best to looking a certain way in particular, you end up doing things that are unhealthy for your body. because you are forcing your body into an unhealthy and unnatural state. So I struggled with this because naturally I have a big appetite and my body loves to put on muscle. I am naturally a more curvier, more muscular woman, and I had this idea that eating in excess, whether it's going to fat or muscle, is still eating in excess. So being overly curvaceous or being overly muscular were both equally bad in my mind, because both of them required eating more than your body needs at a minimum to sustain itself. And as a perfectionist, I got this notion that I'm eating more than my body absolutely needs. I am eating in excess, or I wouldn't be so muscular. And so I decided to decrease my caloric intake to about half of what it was. My body just started to decline in function. And when I took my caloric intake, when I allowed myself to start eating again, I found that, you know what, I would prefer to look this way because this is my ideal. This is how I function best. And I am so, so grateful to be able to go through the entire day without having to fall asleep halfway through. I'm so grateful to be able to be with my friends and enjoy the company. I'm so grateful for the joy that I feel when I do the things I love. And I'm able to do those things because I'm nourishing my body properly, because I'm honoring my body, and I have embraced my body's healthiest natural state. So I encourage you to be very realistic when you're setting your goals. Set boundaries for how far you are willing to go to lose weight. So if you are eating well and if you are exercising regularly, then chances are you are at your healthiest natural state. Whatever that state may be, learn to love yourself for being that way. Eating should be something that you enjoy. It should be something that makes you feel good, both physically and mentally. Normal eating looks like honoring your hunger. It looks like eating until you're comfortably full, not stopping before or after. It looks like allowing yourself to enjoy any and all foods that you want in moderation. It looks like disengaging your exercise from the amount that you're eating. And it looks like loving your body at its healthiest natural state. So, as with replacing any kind of bad habit, the first step is to notice these patterns of eating as they arise and to take steps to eliminate them from your life. Remember to start with small changes, maybe tracking the habit first, and then maybe replacing that habit with a healthier habit when you start noticing it happening. And as with any action that you do consistently, that new action will become a new habit. Remember that anything rigid and inflexible will break, so be flexible with yourself. Progress is not linear. You're not going to go from here straight up to here. It's going to look more like this. And that's okay. One step forward, two steps back. One step forward, two steps back. And that is totally normal. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be compassionate. Long-term change is going to take some time, but it's going to last a lifetime. So it is absolutely 100% worth it. So what are your thoughts on this? Are there disordered eating habits that you've noticed that I didn't talk about in this video? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.